Hi pals, it's Gion. Did you know that Mario Kart 8 released more than 6 years ago? I mean, that's over a quarter of my life ago. Sorry, had a bit of an existential crisis there, but wow, it's really been a while since the last brand new Mario Kart game, huh? Sure, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out in 2017, but apart from the battle mode, there's no real changes or additions. Personally, I'm ready for the next brand new Mario Kart game, and I figured I'd give my thoughts on what I want out of it. I can sum it up in 3 words. Mario Kart 9 Ultimate. Dang it! Basically, I think Mario Kart 9 should be the Smash Bros. Ultimate of the Mario Kart franchise. But what exactly does that entail? And what if it doesn't work out that way? Well, let's just jump right into it. First, let's talk about the tracks. When it comes to Mario Kart, I think that tracks are what it's all about. So what do I want out of new tracks? I don't know. Personally, I don't really have any ideas for new tracks. I'm sure whatever Nintendo comes up with will be good. There'll probably be something Odyssey themed, but I don't have any ideas outside of that. But anyway, I'm sure the new tracks will be great. I've never played a new one and been like, no! What I want to focus on is the retro tracks. What tracks will Nintendo bring back? All of them. I mean, think about it. Can you imagine if Nintendo released a trailer for Mario Kart 9 and the big selling point was that every past track from the mainline series was being brought back? I mean, I certainly couldn't, but it would be cool, right? I think it would be the best way to make Mario Kart 9 Ultimate. However, if this doesn't work out, there are still some tracks that I do really want to see come back, so I'll list those off here. Also, keep in mind that this list is based off of, so it's pretty biased. First off, Dry Dry Ruins from Mario Kart Wii. This is one of my personal favorites from the Wii, and I think it would work really well using mechanics from Mario Kart 7 and 8. That temple section could go into anti-gravity and then you could glide out of it back onto the main track. Also, the updated music with Dolphin Shoals from Mario Kart 8. I really like this track, and I think it deserves to be brought back in Mario Kart 9. There's something about this track that clicked with me right away when I first played it, and it's just an absolute blast. Maybe it's the coral reef setting, or the huge eel you drive on, or that neat twisted rock in the middle of a whirlpool, but the main reason I want it back? I've never most respected a theater man more than Kazuki Katsuda. Next up is Toad's Factory, also from Mario Kart Wii. I'm a huge fan of this course, and I think it deserves to finally be brought back in HD. There's something really fun about the setting. Just being able to see where all the item boxes come from was super cool to me. Mount Wario. This one is a fan favorite, and one of my personal favorites too. This is a track that I'll always take the opportunity to play. It's a ton of fun. And of course, the music is fantastic. There's something really special about this one, and it definitely needs to be brought back in Mario Kart 9. Maple Treeway is a fantastic course, and it would look incredible in HD. I loved this track on the Wii, and I'd love to see it come back. I also think it would lend itself really well to the mechanics introduced in Mario Kart 8. Moonview Highway was a track I hated when I was younger, probably because, but I started to enjoy it as I got older. I'd like to see this one come back so I can give it another chance. Mushroom Gorge was one of my favorite tracks in Mario Kart Wii. I have a ton of fond memories playing this one with my siblings. It would also look great with updated graphics. I mean, come on. I'm pretty sure everyone who played Mario Kart Wii as a kid is nostalgic for Coconut Mall. Moving on. One of my favorites of the Mario Kart 8 DLC, Dragon Driftway is one of the trickiest courses, but also one of the best. I'd love for it to be brought back. One of the first tracks I think of when I think of Mario Kart Wii, DK Summit is a really fun course. It has the same vibe as that last section of Mount Wario, and that's definitely a good thing. Probably my favorite track from Mario Kart 8 DLC, Wild Woods is absolutely incredible. The amount of detail that went into this course always blows me away, and I'd love to see it again in Mario Kart 9. The music is also super cool in this one. I remember how neat it was when I realized the song was in 5/4. This song absolutely... Stop! Rainbow Road from Mario Kart Wii. I always enjoyed this course, and I'd love to see it brought back. This is probably the most nostalgia-based of all the choices on this list, but who cares? Bowser's Castle from Mario Kart 8 is probably my favorite Bowser's Castle course of the ones I've played. From the music to that giant stone Bowser punching the track, this one was always a standout. Last, but certainly not least, Koopa Cape. This was my favorite track in Mario Kart Wii, and I'd love to see it brought back in HD. It would work really well with Mario Kart 8's mechanics. I can just picture that underwater pipe part being an anti-gravity section. Like I said, Hopefully this is a Smash Ultimate scenario and they bring either all or most of the tracks back, but if they don't, those are the ones I really want to see return. Also, you might have noticed this, but Mario Kart music is something I pay very close attention to, and it can really affect my enjoyment of the course. Mario Kart 8 was the first Mario Kart game to have different music tracks for every course, and it's something I want to see come back, at least for the new tracks. But for the retro ones, I expect them to have remixes just like in Mario Kart 8. I expect every track in this game to... When does it end? Next up, characters. With characters, I'm a little more lenient. I always play as Yoshi, so unless they take him out, which I highly doubt they'll do, I'll be fine. But I expect a better roster than Mario Kart 8. Sure, it was the biggest roster, but the majority of it was the Koopalings and... this. I mean, come on, look at this. We've got 5 different versions of Mario. Not to mention the countless alternate versions of other characters. Let's get some variety in there. I expect to see some characters back, like Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Petey Piranha, and Birdo. I also think that bringing characters introduced in Mario Kart Tour like Pauline and Dixie Kong would make a lot of sense. Basically, if you're gonna bring these filler characters back, I better see the ones people have been missing too. In terms of new characters, like I said, Yoshi in here, so I don't care too much. But of the ones I've seen thrown around, I think Professor Egad, Nabbit, Boom Boom, Pom Pom, Captain Toad, and Toadsworth would make the most sense. Also, if they go the Mario Kart 8 route and throw some non-Mario characters in there, I'd love to see Kirby and Captain Falcon. I mean, they already have F-Zero tracks, so why not? And I think Kirby would fit in really well with the Mario cast of characters. Now let's talk about items. What do I want to see come back, and what new ideas could be brought to the table? First, the fake item box. I don't really know why it was taken out in the first place. I think it's a great item that deserves to be brought back. The Mega Mushroom should come back too. I think it's a fun item, and it works differently enough from the star to warrant an item slot. In terms of new items, I think the Super Ball Flower would be cool. It would work sort of like a green shell, except it won't break after a certain number of bounces, only after it hits a racer, or maybe 10 seconds or something like that. Second, the Ice Flower. It would work similarly to the Fire Flower, except if it hits a racer, they're frozen, and they slide with whatever momentum they had for a second or two. This is the kind of item I can see people getting really upset over. Imagine you're about to make a turn only to slide off the edge because of an ice flower. No, 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 no! With items out of the way, while we're running with this ultimate idea, there are 2 things I'd like to bring up that have been lacking in the last few Mario Kart games. First, single-player content. Now, a lot of people have mentioned having some sort of story mode for Mario Kart like Diddy Kong Racing, but I don't think Mario Kart necessarily needs a story mode. I think bringing back mission mode for Mario Kart DS would be the best way to go. Mario Kart is a heavily multiplayer experience for me, but having a mission mode would be something worthwhile enough for those who prefer single player. Secondly, I think there should be some sort of double dash mode. Assuming this game comes out on the Switch, it would make a lot of sense to just pop off 2 Joy-Cons and play double dash mode with a friend. I think the Switch is the perfect console to bring mode like this back. Last but not least, let's talk about battle mode. Mario Kart 8 messed this up horribly. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe improved upon it, but it's still not ideal. Here's what I personally want to see. Battle stages should work like they did in every game except Mario Kart 8, preferably before that game when the stages were smaller. Also, bring back console-themed stages. I just think it would be fun to battle on a huge Nintendo Switch. Balloon battle should work similarly to how it did on the DS. Everyone starts with a set number of balloons, and if you lose all your balloons, you're out. There's no time limit, it's just the last man standing sort of thing. And I like the way the DS brought you back as a ghost that could carry item boxes. I think it's a good way to keep you in the battle without giving you too much power. Coin Runners, Shine Thief, and Renegade Roundup can work exactly as they do in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I think those are fine as is. Finally, Bob on Blast. I think the way it works in Deluxe is okay, but it can be improved upon. Keep the timer, but ditch the balloons. Have it work so that if you hit someone, you gain a point, and if you get hit, you lose a point. I think that's a fair way to still have a point-based system, but not this stupid thing where you lose half your points if you lose your balloons. Who came up with this? I just want to talk. Anyway, that's what I want to see out of the next Mario Kart game. A lot of people seem to think it won't happen soon since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is selling so well on the Switch, but I think it will. Or at least I hope it does. If I live to be 80, I've already lived a quarter of my life, so I mean it better happen soon.